let's do something else instead. Let's try some good old Covenant 25. We're still on a win streak. It seems like we lose our win streak every day and then we build it back up. But let's see if we can skip the losing part and just go to the building it up part. We are playing Umbra Remnant and our boss is gonna be Sepseraph. The cards we start out with are Immortal Trade, Feast and Ripfall. Yeah, I should probably look at that. Rock Bogglesworth, you are right. I will after this run. Please remember me by the end of this run. Forever Flame and Exploding Candle. These are two very powerful relics. I really like Exploding Candle. It's just so nice backline clear. We have a Feast for Gorge Penumbra and we have 2 Immortal Trades for Trample Penumbra. We also have 2 Drip Falls. We have no extra morsel generation. I would like to go Glutton, but can I justify it? Maybe with the Exploding Candle I can justify it. Forever Flame could have been okay with Ember Drain, that's true. I think with the Exploding Candle I can justify going the Gorge path. Because I don't need Trample as much. Well, the Burnout Morsels won't trigger the Exploding Candle. That's the problem. If they get eaten. But it's more about having this extra early damage. This guy's gonna die to spikes, actually, which gives this guy damage shield, but the candle will immediately remove it. Capacity reduced floor. We don't have that much morsel gen anyway, so. This first one will be a problem to deal with. Immortal Trade, does that help? No. We play it a bit later. I still want some morsels. Rubble morsel. Nope, apparently we can't do better than that. We can at least kill this guy. Yeah, it's only about killing the boss now. This guy will die. And in killing the boss, the lifesteal is more useful than 1 or 2 extra morsels. And with the morsels we have extra Ember anyway, so. Why wait? Hi, Mind Control! Welcome. Well, it's going so-so. We messed up the daily. really much. But the this run looks fun so far. This run really presented me with two entirely different options, going for Everflame, Monstrous Penumbra, Ember Drain, here picking Perils of Production, or going Gorge with Exploding Candle and here picking Cannibalize. Whiplash, Molten Encasement, Entombed Explosive. Whiplash can trigger Exploding Candle on a non-burnout unit like a Train Steward. Entombed Explosive is nice though. Gives me some time to set up Penumbra. I think I much prefer going to the left here, getting the spell upgrades and the extra gold. Holdover Cannibalize looks nice. With a cost reduction. We don't have any spell with magic power. Double stack. Not too sad to miss it. Cost reduce the Dripfall. And you know what? Let's purge the Train Steward as well. We have High Priest to the Light with Sweep. Should not be a big deal for us. I think there are also the crossbowmen in this setting. But thankfully these guys are all no problem whatsoever. Set up Penumbra on the top floor as usual, because this is where Gorge Penumbra belongs. And let's just set up a drag here, which will guarantee we get any collector that might spawn there. We don't really need the explosive right now, because we can already kill this guy, no problem. I'm hoping for a burnout unit next. And there is one. Very nice. That clears all the backliners here. And we want to deal as much damage as possible to the Forged Disciple, because yeah, Penumbra's just able to kill it with this next morsel consumed. His Train Stewards are right now mostly fodder for our Cannibalize, which we apparently don't draw until very late in the fight. I guess that's fine. We can still get some use out of it next turn. We already have to win. And these morsels would die to the High Priest anyways, but I'm kind of on autopilot right now. Making of a morsel, Ember Cache, Perils of Production. Ember Cache, Perils of Production, and Making of a Morsel. What do we want here? Do we want the Making of a Morsel? It's not really what we are looking for with Penumbra. We want large quantities of morsels, not necessarily high value morsels. We are against Seraph the Temperate. We don't really need Amber Cash that much. Having an Amber Cache can be nice sometimes. Paris on a morsel that will get Gorge is 3 Amber in a card. Yeah, I'm very much aware of that. But right now we have nothing to spend all that Amber on. And the same goes for Amber Cache, so this is why I'm a bit hesitant to pick up any of these. And this is why I'm a bit more interested in making of a morsel. What's our next option? We have Hellvan plus Remnant Banner or Merchant of Magic plus Pyro Remains. You know what? I will take the making of a morsel because we are playing Remnant as our secondary clan, and having a single morsel miner you can hit with your reforms can be pretty amazing. Do I want a draft? Not really. No. No, I don't want a draft at all. I also don't want Purifying Cleanse or Whiplash. Despite what I argued before in making the use out of the Exploding Candle, I think right now our Dregs are good enough for that purpose. Morsel Master is pretty good right now. But we don't really need it because we have a lot of morsel generation already. We need to find a way to deal with a second frontliner. Wickless Barons plus sacrificial burnout units with the explosive candle can be pretty solid, and I am interested in trying having a harvest floor with the with the exploding candle. It's not burning, it's exploding. Burning candles are normal. Exploding candles much less so. Let's go to the left. I kind of wanna cost reduce the making. Well, do I though? What do I really want? The Cannibalize becomes much better with a harvest floor, I think. Does it become so much better that I should think about duping it? Maybe. Feast becomes much better with the holdover Cannibalize, but not... I don't think I would ever want to dupe the Feast. If anything, I would give it holdover. No, Feast is not an important part of our strategy, I don't think. I don't mind duping the Cannibalize, to be honest. I think we go right. And think about doing that. Already have a Wickless Baron, I don't want the second one. What do the Caverns have to offer? Trap Shoot or Steel Pulley Claw? I wouldn't mind a Steel Pulley Claw as a sort of hard removal for double frontline waves, where we can just pull one of the frontline guys to the top floor and kill them that way. Is the Pulley Claw worth a dupe? Probably not. Let's dupe the Cannibalize. Let's see if we can make some deck that revolves around cannibalizing units to trigger harvest, trigger explosive candles, and feeding our champion with it. That sounds pretty nice in theory, I'm just not sure if it's gonna work out. I kind of want the Wickless Baron to be on the second floor together with the Drag to trigger the explosive candle on the first wave of Zealots. Clergymen. I somehow always call them Zealots, because it kind of fits with their rage. Bomb. You know what? Bomb is fine on this floor, where it dies to the Drag exploding. Set up the next Drag on this floor to kill the next wave of Clergymen. And stop feeding Penumbra. So far this is all going perfectly according to plan. Oh, I forgot the extinguish triggers will kill the drag. That's okay though. Another drag here. We can have this Forged Disciple go to the next floor, I guess. But if it dies here, that's a lot better. I'm preparing for the next wave instead. With these two Forged Disciples. That means I am banking on drawing one of two Cannibalizers to sacrifice this Entombed Explosive to kill one of these guys. But because we have two, I'm fine with doing that. The Dripfall seems pretty useless right now. And it looks like our Wickless Baron is actually growing quite nicely. Well, this also works. It's enough to kill the front guy here. We don't really need the Steel Pulleyclaw here. Maybe I just try to stack some Dazed on Daedalus with the Pulleyclaw and then maybe the Dripfalls. Just so maybe I can have a few points of Dazed on him by the end of by the start of the Relentless phase. We have a few more morsels than we really need right now. But you know, we can always feed them to the Wickless Baron as well. Feast in the next hand. My next hand will have Feast and two Cannibalize, so we won't need much Ember on the next turn. We could sacrifice this Train Steward or the Entombed Explosive. Kinda wanna sacrifice the Train Steward here and keep the Entombed Explosive for the next next turn. Damage shields on this guy are pretty nice. We do have the Feast, so we can actually make use of all these morsels. So let's feed you some Magma and use some Jewelers. And we already have the kill here. This is... Oh yeah, we do. Especially like this. This Wickless Baron Cannibalize strat is working out pretty nice. Holdover makes Dripfall a lot smaller. That's true. It has to be Shroud Spike. There's no question about it. Shadow Eater, Ally Construct, Paraffin Tag. I think we are pretty much fine here. Now, we don't need extra Ember as much. Even with the Shroud Spike, it's not as necessary. Extra capacity is pretty good. Makes us able to use a full Cannibalize on Penumbra's floor. Extra draw is not that important because we have holdover on very important stuff. One candle versus Shadow Eater. Yeah, the explosive candle is just great. Yeah, freezing a Dripfall could certainly be worth it. Let's go with capacity. Makes our harvesting strategy better as well as our gorging strategy. Merchant of Steel for upgrading the Wickless Baron is nice, but double removal plus Hearse's Horde is also nice. Although, honestly, right now the removals are less important. Shade Splitter is pretty bad. Yeah, we could remove Shade Splitters. Train Stewards are still useful as sacrifice fodder. Relics, we obviously want double Gorge, that would be amazing. Something that generates morsels would be nice. Umbra unit, with extra capacity, we could go for something like a Morsel Master, I think. That would be pretty nice. Yeah, I like it. There is Quick available here. I don't think I want Quick. Morsel Master. Let's go all the way with Gorge for now. Currently our strategy is working pretty well with Gorge. This goes on the Morsel Master, I believe. And I think I'm gonna reroll for a better upgrade on the Wickless Baron. Maybe I give him plus 10 strength right now. It's gonna be our only unit for a while though. Let's just reroll. Multi-strike, we are happy. This is actually valuable without a burnout, but you know what? Burnout on a train steward isn't the worst idea. Plus HP is better on him for setup. Is that true though? We will very often be protecting him with Rex, which will AoE the floor. I don't know. I don't know if I want to use this slot for extra HP. Extra HP is certainly not terrible, but he's gonna grow enough HP. I think I'll leave the slot open. Spikes, I think we can deal with that. Plus 10 damage seems less useful. I always like damage on harvesters. Makes it easier to get these early kills. I do want to set up a train steward. And I don't want to feast because I want the extra ember next turn instead of this turn. Problem with the steel pulley claw right now is that these guys have spikes. But it's not a bad idea to just remove this clipped reflector with the pulley claw. Will he gain the armor? I think he will gain the armor, yeah. So we would actually take the spike damage 4 times plus 5 from his... Nah, that's a lot of damage to take. On the other hand, right now Penumbra will have 48 damage, 58 with this backline, which is exactly enough to kill the clipped reflector if we never cast a spell on that floor. Okay. There is, however, one spell we can cast on that floor without problems. And that is this one. Boom! Our deck is still pretty cheap. I will use this lifesteal to keep our Baron healthy. Don't like this clipped reflector getting past us. Very much don't like that. I don't like not feeding Penumbra this turn, but killing this clipped reflector is actually a sin. Oh! Yeah. Yeah, that works. The Antumbra morsel will die, so this will trigger the harvest on Wickless Baron, so we have a little bit of extra damage against this guy, which is just enough to get a kill. I don't need that many morsels, but at least I have a good selection this way. Problem with the excavator is it would die against this guy, so I can't give the Wickless Baron lifesteal. Let's give it some damage shield, and I guess we use the other morsels as a harvest trigger. Like this. And these morsels can go on the bottom. Lifesteal for Penumbra is nice. Okay, this hand is not that great. Huh. I would have thought lifesteal made a bigger difference here. But the harvest is enough. Well, no need to play these morsels, but I will do so anyways. Took 5 damage here, but we get Fossilized Fang in return, so everything is nice and fine in the world. We're at the point where Feast is actually a great card. And I still have to think about it. Yeah, I think I like a second Feast, because we have just that much morsel generation. Resin removal, Votivary, Crushing Demise. Votivary can work very well with the Cannibalize. Especially if we can give it a burnout, it can also trigger the Exploding Candle every turn. I think I'm willing to try that. Ah, yeah, right. The multi-strike consuming the lifesteal faster. I wanna be sweeping floors with the candle on my barren, on my harvest floor. That's why I didn't go with... Crushing Demise. This is actually a card I want to double stack the most, so we can deal with Gilded Wings with pretty much anything that way. Cost reduce the making of a morsel. Maybe I should have just re-rolled instead of buying these rather weak upgrades here. Let's pay some health for a relic. Mole bracers, okay. It used to be very powerful with morsels. It no longer is, but it's still powerful with Cannibalize and harvest floors. We can still make a lot of use out of this relic. It feels a little weak, but in a deck like this, it should be quite good. Capacity reduction on the top floor. That's certainly annoying. Yeah, that's not that great. Oh, double feast. Double feast means we won't have access to feast for a while. Guess we set up the second floor. Doesn't matter this turn because of the Morsel Master and having both the feasts, but as soon as we don't have feast and we use Cannibalize to get rid of these guys, the numbers change. Thinking about how to do this. Wickless Baron goes on the bottom floor. I guess it's drag on the top floor and we sacrifice it with the Cannibalize so we can actually kill the Collector. The Votivary is gonna be our harvest trigger. Which morsel do we want here? We don't need more attack on the Penumbra. We're already at a point where... Oh, we're already at a point where our morsels get swept by the Master of Light anyway, so... Well, at least that's some armor for our Penumbra. And... Since they get some damage shield on the Wickless Baron. It's better than armor on the Penumbra. The Penumbra doesn't need armor. And we will get some armor anyways. Let's use the Burnout Train Steward on this floor. I think I want to start with morsels on this floor. Magma morsel, then we Cannibalize. And Umbra morsels. Let's get the lifesteal for sure. Here I'd rather have the morsels die actually. And the Umbra morsels will not die. So let's play Votivary and Rubble Morsel instead. Keep these morsels around for as potential sacrifices later. We start with a making for a making of a morsel. same problem. Master of Light is on this floor. I guess the Morsel Miner goes on the bottom floor then. We also want the Drag to be in front for the AoE. Let's just sacrifice the... even these morsels died to the Master of Light, right? Because he has gained some rage. That's actually a problem. This clipped the fire defender being at 10 health. Not great. And I'm even fueling his rage further on the top floor with these morsels. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I make a big mistake here? Certainly looks like a big mistake. This guy is gonna hit our pyre 4 times. Yeah, we're dead. I just missed that we wouldn't be able to kill that guy. So I probably made quite a few misplays in this fight. These guys being behind... Yeah, I just need to bite the bullet and set up the top floor, even though that means we will not be able to grow up an Umbra as fast. I guess with Fossilized Fang and Feast, that's honestly not a big concern, because our Penumbra will grow fast enough anyways. Yeah, this looks much better already. I was focusing on the wrong things. Right there. Once again, Master of Light is gonna sweep these guys, and he has 6 attacks, so no morsels will be able to survive this. So let's just feed these to the Wickless Baron. And I don't want to give this guy extra rage. I think we sack this guy. When I want harvest triggers, I get these Entumbra morsels. When I want morsels to survive here, I get low health morsels. Slightly annoying. But you know, at least the backliner won't get that many harvest triggers off of this. And we still get a nice chunk of health on the Wickless Baron, which is pretty important. Because we are up against the stealth guy, if I remember things correctly. Actually, this is a better sacrifice because I can't get rid of the train steward as easily. +3/+3 over +2/+1 and lifesteal. The lifesteal should be nice. Still haven't drawn our spike. Shroud spike. Yet. Let's take the rubble morsel here on the harvest floor. Give you some more lifesteal. You can just have all the health and tech. And we should be fine. We already win on this floor, wow. But I do want to play the spike. That's our sizable penumbra. Gorging is not considered harvesting. Eating morsels doesn't mean the morsels die, they despawn instead. And if they despawn, they don't trigger harvest. That was changed in the wild mutation update. Embocage, excavation, eruption, cave-in. We're drawing through our deck so slowly, the embocage is rarely gonna matter. Where are we going next? Probably Hersel's Hawk, Concealed Cavern, Merchant of Trinkets? No. We have our most important relic. Intent on Death? Could trigger Entombed Explosive or Votivary. But I think I really want Sacred Wicks instead. Reforming is pretty strong. Because of the candle. It seems insane turning down the right side, but we really don't need relics right now. I much rather have a Merchant of Steel. Am I now interested in Quick with the extra slot? That not in Quick, but definitely in Health. And in size, maybe? Size does have its downsides, but overall I think it's a benefit. And removals have to go on the Shade Splitters, I think. No, maybe on the Train Stewards. These are now much worse. We have the Votivary for sacrifice fodder if we ever are in need of something like that. And the capacity, the extra capacity on the Train Stewards over something like a Votivary or a Drag is an issue. I think I want to have my harvest floor on the bottom because of actually that's slightly better. I can play the Ultimate Penance this way, but that's okay, I will take the 5 damage. The setup is important. Very important. Yeah, I think that works out well for us. Let's use a Shroud Spike here and follow that up with another Magma Morsel. Okay. We had such a good setup that this fight is almost over. Yeah, damage shields are okay on you. But instead of 4 health, I'd rather have +3/+3. And 5 armor and not take damage. Get some burnout units. We use the morsel this turn. Let's just remove you from the fight. Dazed 6. pretty good. I kinda want the Morsel Excavator to be in the second wave, so don't have to sacrifice them. Two Morsel Excavators here for some lifesteal, why not? Even though we don't really need it at all and it's gonna be gone before it does anything useful, but having this guy around might actually be nice. Although yeah, that might be useful. Let's definitely play the penance. We need some room here, I think. Yeah, we need to make some room. And these muscles are better spent in front, triggering harvest. We should be able to eat all the valuable morsels on this turn with the feast. Let's kill off this guy. Drag can be in the back, that's totally fine. Play the penance. Play another drag. I should have played that one in the back. This one is gonna die anyway, so. Okay. I'm generating too many morsels. But this is going so well. I'm really considering capacity again, even though draw is an issue. Skip. We don't need those. Our deck is good enough, basically as is, if we just optimize this a little better instead of introducing a totally new element of strategy. Capacity is really valuable. With this deck it's extremely important, even though I would like draw. It's easier to get draw with relics than it is to get draw with a capacity with relics, usually. There are a few exceptions, like from Concealed Caverns, for example. I kinda wanna keep my goal, do I? Yeah, I kinda do. So let's take the right side here. No. No. I don't want these. We only have the Train Steward with Burnout in the deck, which is a nice thing to have. So here we are removing Shade Splitters. And Dupe. Might go on a feast, might go on a shroud spike. It's just so much better than feast. There's no way shroud spike feast can ever compete with shroud spike. Unless you have no feast yet and you want something that doesn't consume 2 hit morsels, then I guess feast is nice. Which floor is capacity reduced? The bottom one. Nice. I'm just gonna set up all the drags on this floor just to get a bunch of harvest triggers next turn. Not ideal. We only get a Shroud Spike for 2 off, which is hardly better than a Feast. But we need to get to 100 power as fast as possible. And this is a pretty big boost in the right direction. Yeah, it was actually enough to get to the point where we can kill a Gilded Wing. Now with the extra capacity, the math have changed a bit. Now we can just play 2 morsels on the top floor, making 4. And have the other Cannibalize available to be played on the Wickless Baron floor, which is, all in all, much better. Thinking about how to cannibalize, I guess cannibalizing this explosive is not bad. Food will go to the train steward anyways. So you know what, let's instead use one of these morsels for a harvest trigger. I know this guy grows, but our Penumbra is more than capable of taking them down. Good thing we have this Votivary, so we can cannibalize here. No burnout this turn, which means this Wildwings needs to die on this floor, otherwise the Penumbra is gonna get blocked from hitting the Gilded Wing, which would be a problem. Let's stack Lifesteal on Penumbra, that seems like a good thing to have. And here, I guess we just sacrifice morsels for the Wickless Baron. Damage shield, yeah, I think a harvest trigger is better than a damage shield even. Just double daze this guy, so we take less damage on this floor. Nothing with burnout this turn. Well, we have Sacred Wicks now. I think I want to conserve the burnout for a later turn and use the morsel this turn. And we keep stacking Lifesteal on Penumbra. This guy's dazed anyway, so I feel like we are completely overscaling this whole thing. Like, we generate much more scaling than we would ever need. It's something I have done a lot in my early days in Monster Train. Like, just scaling as much as I possibly can for the sake of scaling. This deck is a bit different, but we are still doing it. Mostly just because the deck can't do anything else. Like, the only thing we can actually do is just scale forever and ever. It's not worth using a Morsel Miner this turn. We are definitely killing on floor 2. Look at this giant. Let's stop the autopilot and just finish this guy off. Crucible extension for another capacity. On the top floor we are already at 6 out of 7 units, so this would only allow us to put 1 extra morsel there. And that would only work if you use Cannibalize. All in all, I don't think Crucible extension is that great. Prison Retrieval, on the other hand, might be decent to fish for a burnout unit at the right time. Do we want a resin removal for the final boss? We should just outscale them all together. Memories of the Melted is a lot of amber. Do we go to the Merchant of Magic just to potentially find Permafrost so we can Memories of the Melted the Shroud Spike? It's totally unnecessary, but it seems like it's fun. And at this point I feel like we're strong enough to just go for what is fun. Flicker, Slicker, Abandoned Umbra, Cleansing Water. Cleansing Water doesn't do anything in the Seraph fight because there are no buff effects on enemies at all. Flicker, Slicker. No, we don't need that at all. Abandoned and Umbra. No, we generate enough morsels already. And yeah. No. I mean, Iron Dropcage has a certain appeal. We could just make this not consume. Honestly, the non-consume doesn't even matter because we have no draw. We will not draw back into our cards. It's just not gonna happen. Although there is a small chance it will happen, and I think I wouldn't mind a second Sacred Wicks. Eventually. Maybe we can give it holdover even. Would we even want that? No. No, we wouldn't. I was hoping for Permafrost, but instead we got holdover, which does fit on a feast, I guess. Let's remove all these Shade Splitters from the deck. Is Prison Retrieval infinite with Votivary Cannibalize? How do you draw back into the Cannibalize? Maybe this was a mistake, but we'll see about that. Because now I need to draw into my Cannibalize or into the making of a morsel to even get a single morsel from this deck. But on the other side, as long as we don't have Cannibalize, we are drawing through the deck at a decent pace, because we don't have multi-holdover. But there is certainly some amount of danger involved in this. Haha, Shroud Spike without morsels, yeah. But it shouldn't take long to draw into a Cannibalize, to be honest. I say, but at least we have these guys. Don't need Workivari at the moment. Well, it seems like the game has decided that our Cannibalizers need to be both on the bottom of the deck. You know. Just normal things. Yeah, I do want the extra damage on that floor. But even just this... You can't even imagine things like this, right? It's... This floor will be a challenge. But you know, even with that draw, we should still be fine. Did I miss my chance to have a unit on this turn? Also, how likely is this? 2 deadweights here? We want the lifesteal, we want the attack, we want the health. I might have thrown the game by removing all the Shade Splitters from this deck. That's certainly a possibility. You know what? It's not removing the Shade Splitters that's the problem. It's not playing the Workivari that was the problem. That is really what is happening here. Should have played the Votivary. I forgot how few options I have to sacrifice stuff. I have to have units to sacrifice. Okay, I think this is now much better. Still a little bit of a problem, but not as much because the Votivary is actually providing significant value with the harvests, especially. This next wave will still be somewhat troublesome, much less so. We could even draw into a burnout unit, I was going to say, but that wasn't the case. Yep, this is going decently well. But this next wave might be a huge problem, to be honest. I hope I draw into a Dripfall at least. Yeah. I should have known that was gonna happen. We are dead. I feel like we got screwed over by draw really, really bad. But I feel like we also made some mistakes. Not especially removing the Dripfalls that much. Maybe I shouldn't have tubed the Cannibalize. Having the additional scaling on this guy is nice, but relying on the candle for all our AoE needs was maybe a bit too much. And the draw. Yeah. Not an amazing run today. I'm sorry I'm not performing to the top, at the top of my abilities today. Yeah. It's definitely too hot and I didn't have enough sleep today, so I'm Definitely not at the top of my game.